Hey guys, okay, so we're gonna move on. This is, I guess we're gonna call this part 2. We left off, or my last video left off with giving us box 5. Okay, so we pretty much again finished everything here. It said, to draw the 4 boxes. To recap, again, what we're working with here is perspective. We're creating this composition together. Perspective is an easy way to create that illusion of space, which is one of the elements of art and design. And again, perspective is one way to do it. All right, so you can see again, we created this illusion of these floating boxes, okay? And we created the 4 that, the directions had asked for. And box 1 showing its front and top, box 2, its front and bottom, box 3, its front and right side, box 4, its front and left side. What I want to do is, because I forgot to talk about this, because the whole point of us doing this, so I'm going to give my 5th period example here, put this over. What I wanted to do, again, why we're creating this composition, as a class, is of course to talk about, the principles of design as well. So right here, the reason why, my whole reason why we go ahead and we start with just these 4 boxes. And what we're kind of doing here is creating this design. And one of, the principles of design is balance, and we're gonna just very quickly talk about this very simple idea of kind of mirror image, having the same thing. Again, if I took a line and I cut it down the center, I want to say this is pretty much the same. And what we call that type of balance, I'm going to bring you over to my computer here. Okay, and again, now we're going to start talking about the principles of design. All right, we already kind of worked through, 3 of the elements, but before we move on, because we're going to start bouncing back and forth, we're going to talk about balance. Okay, and balance, again, there are 3 types of balance, but for this particular composition, we're going to just focus on 2. Balance, the distribution of visual weight on either side of the vertical axis. Okay, so simple. Again, you can look at the illustration. Symmetrical balance uses the same characteristics. Asymmetrical uses different but equally featured weighed features. Okay, so you can see again here the 3 types of balance. 1 is symmetrical, 2 is asymmetrical, and 3 is radial. Okay, so if I click on symmetrical here, okay, so you can see, all of these examples of the art that you see here, this is all based on using symmetrical balance. So far, if we look at our picture here, what we have, that's an example of symmetrical balance. Now you can see on your checklist, I'm asking you label what type of balance you used. We're not gonna go ahead and we're not finished with this, so we're not gonna label anything. But let's say this is all you did, then that is all, of course, that you would have simply said that this is an example of symmetrical balance. And you can see here other examples. Okay, so now, again, I meant to show you that yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to do so. So again, what I didn't get to do, and of course, I'm teaching this a few times a day, so that sometimes might happen. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on here so that we can continue. Okay, so where I left off, the other day, or on the last video that I did here, was with these 5 boxes. And again, all these videos here, this is what we're doing in class. So if you're watching these videos, it's because you missed something in class. So again, I'll be going over all this, bouncing back and forth from the presentation to what we're doing here. Okay, so in the last video, I left off on box number 5. Okay, and again, why I did that, or why we used box number 5, was so that way we can see, an example pretty much of, or creating a box where you see 3 sides.